The baby started crying just as the subway lights flickered, that tired, buzzing blink that made the underground feel like a breathing thing. The sound cut through the late-night silence sharper than the screech of steel on rails. People shifted, sighed, pretended to scroll. No one looked up, except the single dad standing near the pole, rocking a diaper bag against his hip like it weighed more than gravity itself. Ethan Carter hadn't planned for the baby to cry right then. He hadn't planned for much at all these past 6 months, not since the night his world split open and left him holding a newborn in one hand and a hospital bracelet in the other. But the baby cried anyway, red-faced and furious, tiny fists trembling like they were demanding answers from the universe. "It's okay, Lily," Ethan whispered, though he wasn't sure who he was comforting more, her or himself. "Daddy's here." The word still felt strange on his tongue. Daddy. A role he'd stepped into without rehearsal, without applause, without sleep. The subway car smelled like metal and old rain, like everyone else's exhaustion. Ethan swayed, humming off-key, a song his wife used to sing while folding laundry. He could still hear her voice sometimes, especially in moments like this, when the world felt too loud and too quiet at once. A woman across from him glanced up, then away. A teenager filmed discreetly, the phone angled low, pretending to text. Ethan noticed but didn't care. People filmed everything now. He had no energy left for embarrassment. Then Lily stopped crying. Not gradually. Not with a hiccup or a sigh. She went silent like someone had flipped a switch. Ethan froze, panic flashing hot and fast. He looked down, heart pounding, afraid she'd stopped breathing. But her eyes were wide open, staring past him, fixed on something, or someone. At the far end of the car, a street musician had stepped on. Not with a guitar or a violin, but with nothing at all. No instrument, no speaker. Just a man with a weathered face and eyes that had seen too many winters. He began to sing softly, a lullaby that didn't belong to any language Ethan recognized. It was gentle, cracked, imperfect. Human. Lily watched, mesmerized. Her tiny mouth curved into something that might have been a smile. Ethan felt his throat close. He hadn't heard her smile since before everything went wrong. The musician's song floated through the car, wrapping around the passengers like a shared memory none of them could name. A woman wiped her eyes. The teenager forgot to pretend and filmed openly now. Ethan stood there, tears sliding down his face, holding his daughter like she was the last good thing left in the world. That was the moment that went viral. Not the crying. Not the exhaustion etched into Ethan's face. But the silence. The way a baby stopped crying in a subway car because a stranger sang something ancient and kind. The way a single father looked like he was being stitched back together by a song. By morning, the video had millions of views. And by afternoon, the world had turned it into something bigger than Ethan ever asked for. Ethan didn't even know he was trending until his phone started buzzing while he waited in line at the pharmacy. Notifications stacked up like unpaid bills. He ignored them at first, focused on keeping Lily calm, on calculating whether his debit card would clear the prescription and the diapers. "Excuse me," the cashier said gently. Are you the subway dad?" Ethan blinked. "The what?" She turned her screen toward him. There he was. The same hoodie. The same tired eyes. Lily tucked against his chest. A caption read, "Single dad's subway moment restores faith in humanity." He felt exposed. Stripped. Like someone had opened his diary and sold copies on the street. "I didn't," he swallowed. "I didn't post that." "I know," the cashier said softly. "But, thank you. I needed to see that today." He nodded, unsure what to say. Gratitude felt heavy when you were already carrying so much. By evening, the video had jumped from feel-good pages to political commentary. Clips of pundits arguing about society, about masculinity, about empathy in public spaces. Ethan didn't watch. He was too busy rocking Lily to sleep in their small apartment, the radiator knocking like it was trying to join the conversation. That same evening, on a brightly lit television set miles away, another moment was unfolding. Karoline Leavitt sat upright in her chair, posture sharp, eyes focused. The studio buzzed with anticipation, the kind that comes when producers know sparks are about to fly. Across from her, a host leaned forward, smiling like someone about to poke a bruise. Robert De Niro said earlier today, the host began, that viral moments like the subway video are distractions, manufactured sentiment to keep people from focusing on real issues. Your response? Karoline didn't hesitate. With all due respect, that's exactly the problem. The camera zoomed in. Somewhere, a red light blinked. There's a single father out there, she continued, voice steady but charged, doing his best in a world that hasn't made it easy for him. And when people see that and feel something, hope, connection, that's not a distraction. That's humanity. The host raised an eyebrow. So you're saying Mr. De Niro is wrong? I'm saying, Karoline replied, leaning forward now, that dismissing real people's struggles as sentimental noise is a luxury. It's easy to scoff from a mansion. It's harder to stand in a subway at midnight with a crying baby and no safety net. The clip exploded within minutes. Karoline Leavitt blasts Robert De Niro on live TV, the headline screamed. Comments flooded in. Cheers. Boos. Debates ignited like dry brush fires. The subway baby video was now entangled in a cultural war Ethan never signed up for. He found out the next morning when a reporter knocked on his door. I'm not doing interviews, Ethan said, cracking it open just enough to see the microphone. Sir, people are inspired by your story. I'm just tired, he replied. And my daughter needs a nap. The reporter hesitated. Do you have anything to say about what's being said on television? About the comments last night? Ethan closed his eyes. Images flashed, hospital rooms, empty closets, late-night feedings. He opened the door a little wider. I don't care who argues about us, he said quietly. I just want Lily to grow up in a world where people help each other on the subway. Where a song can still matter. The clip of that answer didn't go viral. It wasn't loud enough. But it reached the right people. 2 days later, Ethan received an email from a nonprofit that supported single parents. Then another. A message from the street musician, who someone had tracked down and tagged in the original video. His name was Miguel. He wrote simply, "Your daughter saved me that night too." Ethan sat at the kitchen table, Lily babbling in her bouncer, and cried into his coffee. The noise online didn't stop. Robert De Niro responded in an interview, clarifying, defending, pushing back. Karoline Leavitt doubled down, saying the conversation mattered because real lives were being overlooked. Their words bounced off each other across screens and stages. But something quieter was happening underneath it all. Strangers started helping strangers again, at least for a little while. People shared their own subway stories. Single parents posted photos, not for likes, but for connection. Someone started a fund for Ethan and Lily. He resisted at first, pride flaring, but when the daycare waitlist quoted him a number that made his stomach drop, he accepted. I'll pay it forward, he promised, not sure how, but meaning it with everything he had. A week later, Ethan took Lily back on the subway. Not because he wanted attention. Because it was still the cheapest way to get across town, and life didn't pause for viral moments. The car was crowded. Loud. Normal. Lily fussed, then cried. Ethan felt the familiar tension coil in his chest. He bounced her gently, whispered, sang badly. It didn't work. Then, from somewhere behind him, a woman began to hum. Another voice joined in. Soft at first. Then braver. It wasn't Miguel's song. It wasn't even the same melody. But it was the same idea. Lily's cries slowed. Her eyes fluttered. She settled. Ethan looked up. People smiled at him, not with pity, not with phones raised, but with something like recognition. For a moment, the subway felt like a living room. Like a place where people belonged to each other. That night,